Happy New Year, everyone. It's 2026. Actually, it's already halfway past January of 2026. And wow, I just can't believe how time is flying. Um, I'm gonna miss this winter weather. I despise summer weather. A lot of times it's there's a couple factors. I myself suffer from eczema. I know some people say like, oh, during the winter time when it gets cold, the skin gets dried. That's when they have more of their like eczema flare up. For me, it's the total opposite. I have more flare ups during the summertime. Also, my mood gets really anxious. The heat, it makes me anxious. Because I feel like if it's everywhere, I can't really flee from it. As opposed to the cold, I can always flee indoors. But some people can argue vice versa, right? Um, but I really enjoy the cold. It makes for a really good night's sleep. And then I guess there's more dry days than humid days during the winter time. So it's definitely more comfortable. I don't feel myself breaking out as much. And I think during wintertime I don't mind going out so much as opposed to summertime, get all sweaty, smelly. And then also the electric bill, it can be very expensive during the summertime where you're keeping your AC on for long periods. So yeah, that's my take on it. But what I was gonna say is this year I'm hoping to it's a continuous thing to work on, but still the aim is to get better physically, mentally and emotionally. Hopefully the bad juju of the previous years will stay, we can grow out of that. And that the new, we welcome with open arms to good, auspicious, juju, like you say, um, to our lives. Be more welcoming, be more gracious to both others and ourselves. Hopefully, there won't be any, major conflicts within the country because something is brewing, and God tells me that to be aware because shit's about to hit the fan. I mean, this could just be just me, not really God talking about it. Um, Part of me wanted to kind of just do some reflection, some retrospection of the time that has passed and where I am at this current stage of my life as far as mindset goes. Um, and been through a lot. I'm sure everybody has. I'm I myself have been through a lot of heartache, pain, growing pains, and I guess in a way revelation about how to look upon life. That life is not very much cookie cut where there's I think I spoke about it in my previous videos. It's like there's really no one way of measuring success and there's no one way of being happy. You could say that because of the modern society, more and more people are single, and whatnot. Granted, there's a lot of societal pressures, from and financial pressures from every angle, whether it's making sure you're building a career, making sure that you're able to make a certain income in order to survive in certain environments, be a certain type of person in order to advance in your career and be successful, have a certain demeanor and outlook in order for you to prosper, and a certain attitude towards others in order to prevail in this cutthroat society. Um, Part of me, and I think I mentioned about it in my other video in regards to intermoral conflict, that's always been something that probably will continue to, I struggle with. I mean, I have voices in my head. I don't necessarily mean at this point, not, I guess it's more like an inner guilty conscience, or, yeah, just my conscience talking to me. Not so much the other negative voice, though it does come back from time to time, but I think it's better managed now, especially now that I've been taking my medication on time. I think I've pretty much adjusted to it. I had time to process certain things and potential outcomes in my life that may derail things, but I think overall, through the past year or the past few years, um, and I just want to say thank you to my therapist. She's been enormous in helping me, as well as like the other medical professionals that been on board on this journey with me. Sadly, I wasn't able to keep one of those relationships, um, because it was just not working out. But yeah, I just want to thank everybody that is in my life. But me, a lot of it was, yes, my therapist would probably say like it's my own. I did the work myself, but I still want to thank everybody. I want to thank the friends that have kept in touch with me, have been, wanting to be part of my life and sharing, and just like be willing and welcoming, and to like keep me in their lives regardless of how busy they are, how things are progressing in their own lives. Being an adult, sometimes things throw curveballs at you. Sometimes you get so preoccupied about certain things that you don't necessarily have time mentally, and even like physically, to be able to keep certain people within the loop, right? It takes a lot of effort as an adult to maintain friendships or any type of relationship, and don't tell people that it doesn't. It takes work. It takes work, whether it's friendship, partner, family. Everything takes work. And because of knowing that, I just really am thankful of all those that have continued to keep me in their lives. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate the hard times that we've gone through together, being there to support each other, being so patient and gracious and gregarious with each other. And I think also being kind, but in a way being firm with me. Sometimes I feel like I do need that balance. So I would love to say their names, but I also think it probably would be more prudent and safe to not mention it, because of how things are on social media these days. How, in a certain extent, things can be, I hate to say it, but can be used against us, regardless of whether we have freedom of speech or not. But that's going to be a discussion for another day, if I ever had that discussion. I just, this channel is not for that type of discussion. I'm going to have to create a different channel for that. But yeah, I've given it a lot of thought, and I think back to a lot of my previous relationships still. And one of the common things or themes that still seem to be ongoing in my life is that I struggle a lot with my self-esteem. I know a lot of people probably have that as well, which is why the development of philosophy, or term "fake it till you make it," happens to be the case. And I don't know. I kind of struggle with that because I guess because I feel like that not so assertive part or not so confident part of myself has been an integral part of me. Although I do want to grow to be more confident, but I don't want to get to a point where it just becomes like where I end up having a big head. That because like you kind of I would feel like I lose a sense of myself if I let I mean personally I don't even know how to be super self confident because I've been low in self confidence for a very long time. That being self confident is probably a very unfamiliar territory, very uncomfortable. And I guess perhaps in my heart a little bit, I feel like I don't deserve to be confident because I'm very imperfect. I make a lot of mistakes. Sometimes I feel like I have so much trouble, but perhaps on the outside it doesn't seem so. But I do feel like I have sometimes trouble with socializing and navigating certain difficult conversations, providing a good response that matched the occasion or is able to speak to a person and is appropriate for that time and circumstance. And I really do struggle, or I feel like I struggle with it. Um, and maybe that is because of the people pleaser side of me, and or I do really care about what people think of me, but at the same time on that same lens I care about how people feel, which can kind of link itself to like I I care about what people think of me. But I don't really want to hurt people's feelings. I am trying to find a way to navigate those what do you call it uh, um uncomfortable conversations by being gentle, but not being like headbutting. But I guess there's a point where what's considered more straightforward and direct versus what is just feels like I'm like hurting that person. I mean, it's a fine balance, and working in the field that I work in, you can definitely see that there requires a lot of emotional engagement and navigation and assessment. But to me, how I go about it, and it may not be so for everybody, it's getting to know that person, right? Being there, listening, asking questions, trying to see the other person from a human lens. And that's how I dealt with a lot of my previous relationships. Like, I want to be thoughtful on how I approach and interact with the person. I want to make sure that I'm treating them with the care and respect that they deserve. I think in the past I have dealt with a lot of people who, I guess, in a way that they're maybe certain things I do may have triggered them. And my thing is always take a step back, and try to first build trust, build a relationship with that person, by talking to them, learning what they like and doing things that they like, even on a more personal level. Try to get to know them on a more personal level. If it's in a professional environment, and you know, in that way, hopefully build trust not only through work, but my work product. I, I do feel like I try to, but I don't know how, but I put a lot of effort in, but sometimes I still come up with a lot of mistakes. Um, these days, I'm less of a person who like beat myself down. There are moments, but I think the therapy that I'm undergoing has helped, because small things I'm able to kind of reconstruct and reflect in my mind and recondition it to understand, like, it's not me, I'm not at fault. I can't control how a person react. I can only control my reaction and know that, there's other reasons other than myself being the cause of their pain and frustration and anger. It sounds very self-centered, I know, but I guess I always feel like, oh, maybe I contributed to their anger or to their frustration. But that is to say, once I get to know them and they get to know me, I feel like we can have mutually respect each other as a human being, and hopefully untangle some of those resentment that they may have towards me. I know I still have a lot of work to do inner wise, but I'm getting there. I'm pretty proud of myself for making it this far, especially after 2020 was not, and even the years before that. I don't know how I made it out to the other side, but I have. And I'm not going to look at next year or several years in the stretch. It's kind of hard to think about it. In a way, it feels very scary. But I'm taking small steps towards it. Trying to, build back my self-esteem. My friends are very helpful with that. I do appreciate that. But I need to tell myself to be self-confident and not let people mistreat me. Have allowed a lot of that in the past. And if I had a chance to talk to myself, my younger self, I'll be like, it's okay to say no. It's okay to not take this path. It's okay to not berate myself for weeks and days on end if I made a boo-boo. It's okay to give yourself grace, because we all make mistakes. Never let anybody tell you otherwise, because nobody's perfect, and never let anybody determine your current worth with what you have done in the past. But it should be from what you have learned from the past and how you have grown since then. Because I feel like that tells more about a person. It's kind of like if a person has went to prison before, but they have put in the work and they have put in the effort to better themselves, to get better, to reintegrate into society, and to make amends for, they took accountability, they're trying to make amends. Like, why can't we give them a chance, right? I think too many times where we kind of forget that people do grow. People are growing every day. They are changing incrementally, but they are changing in various ways, and hopefully some are growing to be a little bit more wiser than they were in the past. So we should get to, regardless of when and how long you've known each other, get to know each other anew every day, because I think that's only fair, right? I know I talk shit about people too sometimes, but at the end of the day, I still give everybody, I give everybody a second chance, third chance, and fourth. But I'll learn to know when that is, you know, when when that's hitting my boundary. And yeah, looking to grow more in this coming year. Um, and learning to let go of certain things. It's part of life. It's part of life. Um, with that, that's like, oh, hopefully that's clear enough as a New Year resolution. Want to continue to grow uh, in that respect. Um, be a better person. Be able to be a better support, a better listener for those that are around me. Learn to love myself and love others better. Um, yeah, and um, what will come in the future will come. But in this time, in this day and age, just learn to uh, be by myself and be be okay with silences, which can be kind of hard. Anyways, sprained ankles are well much improved. Though I did have a recent outbreak of hives, and I still don't know what triggered it. But after the hives are gone, I have like these really rough patches on my arms and my torso, my stomach and my legs, because I had the outbreak like pretty much all over, and I really don't know what's happening. Because my last outbreak was back in the end of November or December, and I was also covered in those same areas. So I'm gonna see an allergy specialist this upcoming week. Hopefully, we could get that sorted out. Because it's getting it's so weird. Like, I don't feel, I don't know. I mean, it could be a histamine overload, or I did eat something that I was allergic to. I have no clue. But hopefully get that sorted out. I am meeting with a nutritionist. Hopefully could provide some helpful advice on how to go about those things. Yeah, but taking it day by day. Because I have a tendency to rush myself and be impatient with myself. So this will have to be a bit more gentle with myself. And understanding that you don't see immediate results with these type of health issues. You need to be patient, need to take the time to work them through, and sometimes it may take a bit, just like depression and anxiety. Know that it takes time to learn and to recondition yourself into thinking differently, to kind of gradually change habits, and then heal the body, because inflammation, eczema, it's not something that you can get over overnight, even in a week or a month. Sometimes people take years to get a good grip of their condition, you know. So yeah, just taking it day by day. I don't think I have anything else to share. Been playing some video games here and there. Blueprints. If you haven't played Blueprints, highly recommend it. If you're into like puzzle games with a bit of RNG thrown into it, and it has a lot of lore, but it does require you to like do a lot of reading in game, because clues are littered throughout the game. So it's a lot of fun though. It's a lot of fun. Still doing Balatro. I'm almost there with getting all my decks to gold stake. So after that, I don't know if I'm necessarily gonna go for the one where you get all your Joker cards to gold stake. That might be a bit much for me because I don't like every single Joker card. Not every single Joker card is useful for those type of gameplay. So, but after that, might think about. I kind of want to do more reading this year. I have to start journaling. It's been very helpful, especially recording those like really vivid dreams. I think I've mentioned it before. Sometimes it's really grotesque, unsettling, scary. Kind of makes you wonder why my mind has this. But according to my psychiatrist, it's like, when you're dreaming and you remember those dreams, you're actually sleeping in a REM cycle. That could be the case, but not when I don't feel rested or I feel scared of my own dreams. So I did have a recent dream where I was yelling at one of my exes from back then, that I was like, I hate you. It came out of nowhere. Because, but I looked it up on Google, and you should not always look into Google or like the other online platforms, because it can get into your head. May not be the right diagnosis. Some stuff are made up, so I highly recommend to seeking out a professional, but a good one. But yeah, it's just probably some unresolved emotions, not necessarily like I'm thinking about that person or I miss that person. It's just like that person probably represents a state of mind of mine from the past that I haven't really worked over, like, worked around. And, I guess healing takes time, which is kind of speaking back to my other point. So if you're going through the same thing, remember, it's okay, as long as you're not like stuck in the past where you're letting it overconsume you, kind of guide you into a really dark path of continuously self-abuse or letting other people abuse you, self-blame, or allowing people to blame yourself, or something like that. Not saying you shouldn't take accountability. I think every relationship is a two-person factor, right? There's always another person, but sometimes we are the ones who allow those behaviors to happen as well. But thinking back, again, should have known better, and we'll move forward with that understanding and hopefully be able to put it in practice. But I kind of want to try this year also. One of the goals is, learning to live on my own, be more independent, is also one of the things I do want to incorporate, is being comfortable in traveling by myself, because I'm an introvert. Some people may not believe it, but I want to I want to learn to travel on my own, because I want to be in a state where I don't I'm not afraid of being in an unknown environment by myself, and that kind of forces me to like speak up for myself in various conditions. Be okay with not speaking to people, because I feel I get this tension. Be okay in crowds, still working on that. So I think it's just being able to adapt. That's not to say I've given up on, or maybe I have deep down, like, I don't know if I care to be in another relationship, but I guess I don't want to close that door yet. I don't know why. I just feel like it's probably much easier not to be in a relationship, because all the headaches. When I say relationship, I mean a romantic relationship with another person, because there's going to be heartaches, there's going to be arguments and stuff like that. But I don't necessarily say that that there's a problem with relationships. It's just that I myself, I just have, I still have trouble dealing with that. I mean, I have that issue dealing with that in a general respect about dealing with, you know, people with strong personalities or troubling or difficult, um, personalities. I'm afraid of confrontation. So, you know, I need to work on that, and I need to work on myself before I am ready to let a person in, because it's a very scary thing. I'm not afraid if it makes sense. I'm not afraid to be vulnerable to a person that I want to open up to, but I am afraid that they'll see my vulnerability as a weakness, and they'll come down at me hard. Because um, I don't want I I've been there before. I've been there a few times before where people have taken my vulnerability as a consent to hurt me, and I guess like maybe it's not to a fault of their themselves. Maybe they're dealing with stuff too. I always want to give them that grace, but I don't. I need. To, I don't know. It's kind of weird. It's very conflicting. So you know what? I have to work on that part a bit before I bring it up again. But yeah, I pretty much talked enough. I'm gonna go back to my self karaoke, and y'all see me when you see me again. Bye. Have a happy new year.